Okay, I'm back for another update. I want to show what's been done to the house so far. First, I'm going to show a couple of detailed shots to show you what's been done with the plumbing and wiring. Also, at the end, I'm going to have a lot of costs and how much it cost me so far on the project. And then I'll have a walkthrough in the middle right after the pictures to actually show you what's been happening in the overall build. Now, a lot of people have asked how we mix up concrete and do a lot of the work without equipment. Most things are done manually, without mixtures, without machines, without motors, all those things. This is how they normally do it, either outside on the ground or inside in the building. They just mix it right on the floor using just a shovel and mix it up kind of like a cake mix. Same thing with scaffolding. They just have a lot of loose wood and they build whatever they need, ladders, containers, whatever they want out of the wood, and they just repurpose it every time they do a build. So it's kind of the normal thing in the Philippines. They don't buy a lot of specialized equipment. Now let's do a walkthrough, and I'll have some details along the way as we take our shots and different pictures to give you a better idea what it looks like along with the video. First, the waste pipes are orange, the electric is in red conduit, and the water is in white. So you can tell what the coloring is. It already has all the wires strung through on these pictures, you can see. We've got everything set up already. It's all in place. We'll cover up the conduit later with some more mortar to make sure it's all done. And the plumbing that hangs down from the ceiling is all going to be down below a ceiling that we're going to replace. We're going to put a PVC ceiling in. Yes, I'll try that. I haven't seen it. Also, be really specific on where you want things to be. Mark it on the wall, show them where it's supposed to be. I've marked air cons, I've marked switches, I've marked plugs, everything where it's supposed to go. I drew a picture on the wall and we marked it right on the concrete to make sure they understood exactly where it goes. Also, don't be afraid to meet with the guys every day and walk through the building and show them what things you want to have changed physically. Point to it, mark it for them, walk through everything they're supposed to do the following day to make sure they understand exactly what you want them to do and how it's supposed to work and where it's supposed to go. Otherwise, you'll wind up with a hole in the wrong place, a pipe in the wrong place, wiring in the wrong place. You got to make sure everyone understands exactly what it is you want. Now let's do a walkthrough and see what we've changed since last time. I'm not going to bore everybody with every room and every little thing because you saw that in the last video. But I will walk through and show some things here just to see what's going on. You see this is the walk-in place, and totally in the back is the kitchen. Behind that's the dirty kitchen. You see they got all the waste pipes in place, they've got the wiring in place, they've got all that things in it going. We got all on the wall sockets, they've got the wires strung through. They finished a lot of the windows too, we'll see that later. There you can see I got a 1,100 liter water tank that'll be out back pretty soon, and a 40-gallon pressure tank with a motor. Looks like they squared up in the back dirty kitchen here. They squared up the windows, they put in the plumbing, they put in the waste pipes. They put some stairs to go in that back door all the way down to the outside, a couple of steps so we can go in and out. You can see all the pipes are in place. Looks pretty good. I like the way the windows came out. They look nice and squared. It look pretty good actually. We'll cover all this up, like I said before, with concrete and finishing, and we'll put a drop ceiling in. Here going back from the dirty kitchen through the kitchen and living room, you see all the pipes in the ceiling, all the wiring in the ceiling. I didn't want any wiring going through the floor. I want it to come top down because I got some experience here when it's flooding, and so I'm trying to keep the wires as high as possible, and I think that's a better way to go. You can see all the sockets are in place. In the back and the left there, that's the circuit breaker. They only got a few breakers in there now. Believe it or not, they say that's a big breaker. I bought a large box. U.S. standards, that's a pretty small box, but it's what's common here is some really little ones. I got a double-sized box because I want to get more breakers in there. I want to be able to break up the house into different zones and be able to turn things on and off. All the stuff we're kind of used to in the West, I guess. Going upstairs, they started wiring up there as well. First bedroom, which is a small bedroom, they got some of the wires in place in there, actually all of them. I wanted to make sure that we have enough. You can see how they chiseled out the wall there, see where they've got the wires are going to go. I kind of used the U.S. standard here, meaning there's a wall plug about every 2 meters. Every 6 feet I've got a plug on one of the walls someplace. I don't like it where here it's pretty common to have one plug per room or something like that. So I did spend more in wire, but I put them in more what I'm used to. Now they haven't framed this window yet. They finished the bathroom in the back there. It's got all the plumbing and everything in it already. All the connectors for the electric heaters for the water. This balcony is 6 feet wide actually. It doesn't look it in the video, but you can walk out 6 feet. And to the left there you'll see there's actually a walkway that goes all the way back to the end of the house past the main bedroom, master bedroom. What I'm going to do is we have all the wires in place, all the rebar and everything, and put an extra column on the other side. I'm going to have a 36-inch wide walkway that goes all the way from this balcony all the way the length of the house to the other side, so you can actually walk out of the bedroom if you want, walk down this walkway and come to the balcony from the outside. So it's kind of my idea of a fire escape. There's some way to get out if you have to. You can stuck on the other side of the house, you can walk through. I'm really happy the way these soffits worked out. The finishing is done in the top half of the house, so you can see the concrete smoothed out. Looks good. The soffits look nice. And there's my pressure tank that I bought. Some local guy made it for me actually. Couldn't find one anywhere else, and the water tank's the same way. Walking back outside, they're finishing the outside of the house, so I thought I'd take a look and see how much they have done. They've got the whole top half done in the back. Here they're working on the side. Everybody's at lunch, so you don't see anybody out there right now. They got tarps up because it's 90 degrees out here. It's really hot. The sun beats down in the equators. You get a lot of UV rays, so they have a tarp. You can see it's all smoothed down. The waste pipes are coming down the side of the house. I had an option whether you run them inside or run them outside. They said just run all the pipes inside, and I prefer not to. I don't want a waste pipe leaking inside the house. If it leaks and it's outside, it's easy to fix. If it's inside and it's under the concrete, it's a problem. So I opted not to do that actually. So I'm going to walk around the front of the house here, go out through the driveway, and I'm going to walk to the side and see what the back looks like from the outside. Now this is the main roadway here. It's right to my house. So my driveway is going to go right into from the main roadway. When I walk next door, there's a throughway there. That's actually a road for everyone to use where I have my car parked. And in the back behind there is where they're selling lots for a house. And this dirt road, believe it or not, is considered a road. And if you buy parcels back there sight unseen, you will actually be back in that area, which is kind of a low spot, on this dirt road. So I'll caution you, if you buy things with sight unseen, to make sure you understand how close they are to the main road, water and electric, because they're going to make you pay for that water hookup all the way from this main road all the way back there. Same with the electric as well. So it's going to be a few bucks, plus it's not going to be that great. Now, I'm happy the way the house looks here. The roof really came out nice. They did a good job. I'll show a close-up later. I saw in the intros a close-up as well. You can see they got the top half finished already now. We're still going to put another finishing over top of that and paint it after we're done. But this is the initial finishing. It takes a while because you'll see when you go to the other side, there's layering on this. You put a base layer down first with more heavy concrete, and then you put a thinner concrete with fine sand over the top to make it smooth. So it takes quite a while to do that. Here you can see the waste pipes on this side. They come out on the outside as well. My wife wasn't too happy about that, but like I said, I think it's the best option, especially for the way things go with everything PVC. If something goes wrong, it's a heck of a lot easier to repair that on the outside than it is on the inside, that's for sure. Now walking around the back of the house, that's the dirty kitchen. They've got that all done as far as the finishing goes. They put some concrete steps in the back to go out to the back. The roof looks nice there, and also when they walk around a little bit to the side, you'll see they have all the gutters in place and all the gutter pipes are in place. And I'm going to have those extended and go all the way out into the yard because I don't want anything water running down into the foundation. I want everything to move flow away from the house. So I think it looks pretty good, actually. It looks nice. The windows are squared up really nice. So we're going to put some aluminum frame windows in there. You can probably tell I'm a little nervous about termites, so there's not much wood in my house at all. It's all concrete and steel. This is all the scaffolding I had to buy over time. We reuse it, I don't know, 6 or 7 times now. They pull everything out of the pile, they make ladders, they make new scaffolds, they take them down, they put them up, whatever we need it for. So it's come in handy so far. It's all cocoa wood. It was somewhat expensive. It was like 80,000 pesos for the whole thing, but the initial builder bought it when I did phase 1. And I just had them repurpose it for everything else, and we're going to keep repurposing it until we're done, actually. You can tell the top gutters look pretty good. I like the way it came out. You can see the grease trap in the back of the house there. Now this is the back view. This is back where the allotments are that they're selling, back there. So if you get something back there, that's where you go. That's my neighbor's house to the left, and I parked my car on the road, I guess you would call it. The reason this road actually has rocks in it is because I had to pay to have those rocks put in because there was so much mud I couldn't actually work on my house and deliver all the stuff. So I had a semi full of rocks dumped there so that it would be hardened up and we could go. So now that we're done with this, let's get to doing some pricing in the end. I'll show you how much I've spent so far. For the initial build, I hired an architect to do all the drawings. There's 6 layers of drawings you have to do for everything separate: electric, plumbing, everything have to do with the entire building code, all the filing of the paperwork and all that stuff. Then in order to actually start any kind of a build, we had to build a little house, little hut they call it, fence in the yard, change to pay it from pay the change to make it from agricultural to residential and all that. Then the architect actually hired him to do the backfill. I had to do a 3-foot backfill into the entire lot to get it above the water plane. All the footers, fill it in, do the structure, the bottom slab, the top slab, all the columns, grease traps, septic tank, and all those things, and including roof framing. There's a description there of all the things that were done. So that's an initial build. Basically builds the entire structure for you, the whole skeleton of the entire house with all the rebar. Made sure it was extra thick metal, heavy rebar, thick concrete. So none of the prices were cheap. This is probably more than most people are going to spend, but I wanted to make sure this thing was hurricane proof, above the floodplain, and everything was taken care of. Applying what we learned in phase 1, we decided to get rid of the entire crew and hire our own people and actually have our own foreman, and then come locally and supervise the job ourselves. We probably saved 30 to 40% of the initial cost. I could have cut off the other one if I've done this myself, although I did need an architect to begin with. But a lot to be said about doing hands-on yourself. So now we've been managing the process ourselves. We've got a lot of the work done you've seen so far, plus a lot of materials purchased already that we don't have to buy for the end of this phase. So as you can tell, in this particular phase we spent quite a bit less, 758,000 pesos. So right now the total cost is roughly about 2.7 million. I think we're going to spend I estimate about another 500,000 before we're done with the entire project. And then finally, to wrap it up, here's all the additional tools I had to buy aside from what the contractor did initially. When I got my own guys, I had to buy my own tools as well. So I put everything on here. It's different that you might have to look for and find. Some things are hard to find. Water tanks weren't as easy as I thought. The pressure tanks, the pumps, you have to buy. I bought a pump, an electric pump that made in Italy. I had to have a guy make my own pressure tank because they don't have them here. We had to get fine sand from a special source because it's more expensive than regular sand for the finishing. So there's a lot of things you have to do, but this is the basic list of things you have to get. There's not a lot of tools because they don't really use a lot other than a few basic tools. You can rent mixers and stuff if you want, but good luck if as far as people that really know how to use them. So this is my final tool list right now. So this is where we are today in May 2022.